Right. Hi, everyone. I hope you can hear me. This is Alecia Banfield here from Banfield's Professional Medical English. The year has started off a little rocky. I'm not going to lie to you. Both tech issues and office issues and what's not. But we are not going to stop. We are just going to plow ahead and fix things as we go. Now, one of the first OET events of the year was supposed to have been on Wednesday, and it was about the OET reading. And I know that a lot of people had problems or have problems with the OET reading. So, two things. One, we were supposed to do that webinar, and it did not happen. But also, I'll just send the new information to people. Yeah, maybe our admin can send it out on Instagram now to let people know where to check in. But anyway, we're going ahead. So this is such an important topic. There are two things. One, we're going to do this free webinar. We're going to post it as a video afterwards, and you can ask questions in the comments, and I will make a point of going in and answering those comments. Two, we're going to share this video, hopefully with OET, so maybe you'll be able to see it there as well, and that's the webinar. But two, coming up on the 18th is another event also related to this OET Reading A. It is a class, it is not a webinar. So this video is just going to give you glimpses into the kinds of issues that we will cover while we're in the class, and offer you a few more tips. So in this webinar or this video, we are going to be talking about accuracy in the reading part A, because many people can either be accurate as long as, they're not under time, while others can be fast, but they make a lot of little errors, that when they go back, they go, oh, why did I do that? So that's what this is going to be about. So let's begin, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to screen share with you a short little presentation, and then, yeah, we'll take it from there, okay? So let's just screen share. And you see my lovely little bear there. I love bears and I love birds. And let's just swap over so you see the correct presentation. And there we have it. So yes, it was supposed to have been on the 10th, but it's the 12th, better late than never. I always say, let's talk about the reading part A. Now, later on, I'm going to share with you two resources to help you sharpen your OET reading. So you see my little ninja there. They're all about precision as well as speed. And these resources are coming from a premium OET tutor. Remember, premium tutors, we have been trained and licensed directly by OET, trained down to our eye teeth. So we know and we understand not only the test, but how to efficiently get you to look at the right things so that when you're doing your test, it all comes easily. And for those of you who are thinking, oh, she's trying to sell us stuff, Actually, these resources are exactly your budget. How do I know? You're thinking, I don't know you. But actually, trust me, these resources are practically everyone's budget. And you know what everyone's budget is. Okay, so let's dig in. So the reading part A is, you get 4 different kinds of text. It's always on the same topic. It could be about diagnosis, treatment protocol, clinical procedure. It could also be about patient education, something, professional guidelines, something, but they're always on the same topic. There are 20 questions that follow, and those 20 questions are always in 3 sections. The first section only asks you to identify where information is, and you literally just have to write A, B, C, D, because they're always 4 texts. However, sections 2 and 3, this is where the accuracy comes in, because you're asked to identify the what. So you have to find specific information and write it down. And when you are copying, you need to be copying exactly. Okay? Now, the thing about the reading part A, for those of you who have never done OET before, is this. The reading part A is given to you separate from the reading part B and C. Okay? So after the 15 minutes is up, and it's a strict 15 minutes, your paper is either taken away, or if you're doing it online, computer-based test, or OET at home, it is quote unquote submitted, i.e. it disappears, you have no more access to it. So in that 15 minutes, you don't just have to find stuff in the text and put in your answers accuracy, but go back, check that you're sure you've put in the right thing, because you will not have any opportunity again after that. Okay? So essential skills in reading part A include, but not limited to, the quick reading, and you do not have time to read all 4 texts in detail, so you have to be able to do that very famous skimming and scanning very, very quickly, as well as accurate recording. So in this short video, these are the 2 things we are focusing on in the reading class that is going to be on the 18th of January. That's next week, Thursday. We'll be looking at other reading A skills, but this video is just going to focus on that quick reading and accuracy aspect. Now, first tip, spelling and details do matter in the reading part A. Let me repeat that. Your spelling and your details, and I'll talk more about details later, do matter in the reading part A. For those of you familiar with the listening part A, where a little minor errors in spelling they overlook, this is because what is being tested in the listening part A is that you have heard the exact detail. Okay, so if you spell, vegetable with BEL instead of BLE, it's not a big deal. Or if you spell, ultrasound instead of SOND, you put SUND, the examiners will look at that and go, you know what, that was probably a typo under stress, and you will still get the mark. However, in the reading part A, you are copying information directly over. Okay? Because you are copying information, the OET board and the examiners are expecting that you are able to copy things exactly and correctly. Why? Because OET reflects real life, and in real life healthcare, you've got to be exact. We know that sometimes drug names look alike or even sound alike. We know that the difference between milliliters and deciliters or liters is huge when it comes to giving drugs to patients. So in the reading part A, spelling accuracy and accuracy, other kinds of accuracy are extremely important. And yes, you will lose marks for being inaccurate. Okay? So here's an example. The correct answer is 24 mils per minute. So clearly this is an infusion rate of some sort. You put 24 liters per minute. Now that's a big difference, okay? So clearly this is wrong. You got the number wrong, but the units you got wrong. Here's another one. Sodium, 136 milliequivalents per liter. You put 156. Or you actually wrote it down so the examiners couldn't tell if you were writing a 3 or a 5. Again, that is something that will lose you marks. Okay? So pay attention to your words, pay attention to your numbers, pay attention to your units. Okay? So for those of you not familiar with OET, this is kind of typically what the 4 texts in the reading part A might look like. You have got one topic, management of burns. So all 4 have to do with burns, but they're coming at it from a different angle. Here it's looking at burns from the point of view of depth and the features. Here is about fluid resuscitation, how fluids are given and to adults and children. Here it's about the overall management, everything from assessing, initial stabilization, pain control, analgesia, and debridement or debridement of wounds and so on. And here, of course, they're focusing on analgesic or painkillers and the different types. But for the following exercises, we're just going to focus on each one, we're going to focus on one single text. So here's the text. For you who are watching this video later on, what you can do is pause when I say pause and just take a look and then replay the video, continue to play the video. So this text is text B, which is the fluid resuscitation text. And take a moment now to just scan and see what kind of information is in this text. Good. And I'm purposely starting back very quickly because that's the kind of time that you can expect in a real, in the real test to have to kind of consider each text. But now let's look at the question. This is the sample question. How much resuscitation fluid should a child receive per kilogram over 20 kilograms? The candidate answer is 20. The question to you is, why is this answer 20 not correct? I'm going to pause here for a minute and let you consider that. So first you've got to think what is the correct answer. And then look at what the candidate wrote and then think of why it's not correct. Okay, so let's look at this answer. First of all, the correct answer is 20 mils per kilogram for each extra kilogram. This is where the answer is. The candidate correctly put 20. But why is this not correct? Because they asked how much, quantity, okay? And fluid. Fluid has to be either liters, ounces, some volume unit. And they haven't given any volume unit here at all. Plus it says per kilo over 20 kilograms. So actually they don't really need to put 20 mils per kilogram because the per kilogram is already there in the question, but they definitely need to put the mils. Okay, so this answer is not correct because they did not pay attention to the units. Okay, so let that sink in. Let's try the next one. This one is about text D. Now, text D is the one that was about analgesia. Yeah. So I'm going to, again, pause a few seconds and let you quickly scan this text to see what the information is about. Good. Now, often in the OET, you will see information in big, bold headings or big, bold tables. And sometimes there is information, it might even be written smaller as a footnote under the table. Pay attention to all of the information. Do not just get so focused on the table that you forget to look at any captions or any footnotes that are there. Okay? So here is the question. What additional analgesic is recommended in the first instance for patients with a moderate level of pain? The candidate answer is Trendol. The question is, why is this not correct? So your first task is to find out what the real answer is. The second task is to look at the candidate answer and compare it. And the third task is to identify why the candidate's answer is not correct. Okay. So here you can see what additional analgesia is recommended in the first instance for a patient with moderate level of pain. So we go to moderate level of pain here very quickly. And additional analgesia, well, the whole table is about analgesia. So you come across here and they said additional. So we're not just talking about paracetamol. And the answer is here, of course, tramadol. However, step 2, look at the candidate's answer. It's Tremdol. It could be that they wrote so badly, this is what the examiners read. It could be that in their rush, they actually misspell the word. But remember what we said. Spelling is critical in the reading part A. So why is this not correct? It's because there's an error in spelling. So this candidate, because of a lack of attention, basically just threw away a mark. Don't do that. Okay? Copy accurately. So let's look at the last one. And in this one, you don't need time because it's the same table. So let's look at this question. What root should be used to administer ibuprofen to children? Okay, I'm going to pause here now. Remember, find the answer, look at the candidate's answer, then say why it's wrong. Okay. The answer here, so we're talking about ibuprofen, so we quickly skim and scan and we find where they're talking about ibuprofen. Yes, we look at the table because, ooh, that is big and pretty and in our face, but then we see that ibuprofen is actually mentioned down here. Okay, good. So we've got ibuprofen. They asked what? And you see 2.5 to 10 milligrams per kilogram, which is what the candidate wrote down. So clearly you see the candidate here is looking in the right place. But what is the question actually asking? What route? In other words, how is the medication to be given? Okay, how do we get the medication into the child's body? So the answer isn't 2.5 to 10 milligrams per kilogram. It is orally. Orally. Okay? So this candidate, likely in a rush, did not read the question properly. They skipped completely, or they missed completely the focus of the question. They got the location right, but the actual focus that the question is asking for, they got wrong. Here again is where speed resulted in inaccuracy because they weren't paying attention. Okay, so those misunderstanding the question focus. So those are 3 examples of the importance of accuracy. So if we want to sum up how you could be fast as well as accurate, 1, understand what the focus of the question is. Okay? And make sure you are looking for that focus. Number 2, when you identify the answer, look and see, oops, let's go back a bit. Look and see what the units are, or is it days? Is it time of day? Is it a quantity? Or is it a rate? Or the units? Okay, look at what the units are. And then when you are copying, and when you're talking about units, also pay attention to what information they have already given in the question. If it says per kilo, then you just need 20 mils. Okay. If it says how much over 20 kilograms, then you say 20 mil. By weight, then you say 20 mils per kilogram. Okay? And thirdly, when you do copy, take that extra split second to go, did I really copy this correctly? Most of us already know how to spell amoxicillin. Do you really then want to write too fast and spell it correctly? Check the text. Most of us know how to spell pethidine, but do you really want to write fast and spell it incorrectly? Take an extra second, check the notes. Okay? So that's those are 3 little tips on how to be accurate. All right. So here we have, remember I promised that there will be 2 more resources to help you sharpen your OET reading skills to be like ninja precise. And there are these. So first of all, there is our OET Reading Coach ebook. This is an ebook. It's 22 pages that we published simply because we kept coming across the same issues over and over again with students, and we wanted to put together something nice and compact to help students really focus. The highlight are these two things here called pitfalls and opportunities. Pitfalls are to look out for those little things that can trip you up. And those 3 points that I mentioned before about accuracy, those are an example, but there are other issues as well. Opportunities we put in because often students, they're so overwhelmed, they think that OET is out to get them. However, OET does build in certain features into the test paper. And if you understand and aware of those features, you go, okay. All right. So it's got in those. There are sample questions in there as well. So there are sample texts. So you have the 4 texts. You have sample questions of the type that you would get in a real OET. So actually you can do them and then go to the back of the book, I think it is, and find the answers, okay? So it's got a little practice in there. It's got the answers so you can train up yourself with those pitfalls and opportunities. If you want to know where to find this book, scan the QR code there. It goes direct, or you can go to the shop and find it in our shop, okay? But honestly, the QR code, it's a lot quicker. All right. Then, that ebook is one of a series. There's the listening coach, the speaking coach, the writing coach, and the reading coach, and they are all also in the shop. Each of them costs $2.99. Remember, I said it's good for everyone's budget. And this one is even better for your budget. Why? Because this is the universal budget. It's free. Next week, Thursday, we are having a free OET reading class. This is a class. This is not a webinar. Okay? The class is going to last about 80 minutes, 80. You have to register to get into the class. Because it is a class, we do have a cutoff for number of people in the classroom. It's 30. I'm sorry about that. However, still register because a lot of people, they register and they don't come. So we're focused on the ones who register and do turn up. All right. It's going to be at 12:30 Central Eastern European time. Central European time. Sorry, it's lunchtime here, so I'm getting a little bit hungry. Central European time. So just convert it to your local time. There's a link here where you can go to convert it. And it's a Zoom class, of course. If you have any questions, you can contact us either by WhatsApp. There is a WhatsApp widget on our website. You click it and you just type in your message, or you can send an email, okay? And that, of course, is our website. So if you scan this, you will see this form. The reason why we have this form is we want to ask you a few questions, or we want to give you the opportunity to give us some insight into problems you're having. So lower down on this form, you can say, oh, I have problems with fast reading. Oh, I have problems with reading part B. Oh, I have problems with reading part C, or whatever. This is a reading class. Okay, so we're not limited to reading part A. We're basically going to try to do a bit more. So yeah, so you can join us. Either getting the, so you can join us next week at the reading class. We're looking forward to seeing you there. And actually, I'm thinking that something is missing. Yes, something is missing. So just a little help with registering for the class, by the way. So the first thing you come to is once you register, you then see this. It comes up on the screen. Once you click this link here, this actually takes you into the Zoom room. Okay? We get an email so we know you're there, and you get the link directly it comes into your email box. So when you are entering your email, please enter your email accurately. Otherwise, the Zoom link to get into the class itself will go to the wrong email. Okay, so just remember that. And that's it for today. So I'm looking forward to seeing you at the reading class. And if you can't make the reading class, then the next best thing is going into our shop and checking out the reading coach. That's it for now. Again, apologies for the mix-up with the live webinar, but I'll check back and answer any comments. And of course, you can always send us an email. Bye for now.